And good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is Mike Ferry with Mike Ferry TV, the week of December 7th. I had somebody ask me a great question this past week. And the question was, what have you learned this year in your travels and the work you do with all these great real estate brokers and agents? And quite honestly, I didn't have an answer because I'm very lucky to get a lot of people contributing a lot of good information to me on a regular basis. So when I got back to the office yesterday, I started making some notes. What have I learned? So I wrote down 6 things that I've learned. And probably the truth is I've probably known them all the time. So maybe I was reminded of some of these things and how they can help you list and sell more real estate in the month of December to finish strong and then, of course, make 2016 better. So for the person that is supposed to be the guru of real estate, what have I learned in helping our customers, people like yourself? First thing I wrote down is if you can't maintain a sense of humor in this crazy, wonderful, exciting, almost at times, wacko business we're involved in, you're probably in trouble all the time. When you look at what goes on in real estate every single day, and if you can't look at what you do and you can't smile and laugh a little bit about some of the responses you get from clients and customers and prospects and some of the things that happen, if you can't look at some of these things and laugh about some of the activities you're involved in or some of the justifications as to why you didn't do what you're supposed to do, and if you can't get a good belly laugh out of that, you probably are a sick person, I need to tell you. You got to maintain a sense of humor. Because why? Because fastest way to relieve stress is through laughter, which we both know. So I think one of the things that I've been reminded of this year as we go through the normal day-to-day experiences of dealing with you and your brokers and ourselves and our clients and our prospects is if we can't stop once in a while and laugh a little bit, we have a problem. How much time do you spend laughing? Second thing I wrote down is we have to continue to work on developing our communication skills. Why? Because we are in the people, communication, and image business. That is what a professional real estate salesperson has to understand. People, communication, obviously, and image. What is the image you present? How well can you speak? How well do they accept what you have to say? And are you involved with people? Because if you're not involved with people, obviously, how do you expect to go out and list and sell real estate? Well, I know you're going to try everything you can to avoid talking to people. That is today's society, okay? And that's why social media has been such a wonderful disaster for people like ourselves in real estate. Because see, if we don't have a real estate sales background, most of us don't, and we don't have a direct sales background, most of us don't, and if we don't have a business background, most of us don't, then you get hooked into all the nonsense that social media brings to you, which means you don't have to communicate, you don't have to talk, you don't have to interact with people. And the truth is, we don't interact because we're not good communicators. Why are we not good communicators? We don't know what to say. And in real estate, if you don't know what to say, you're frozen, you can't work. In essence, you're muted by your lack of conversational situations to be involved in. Third thing I wrote down is you got to accept the fact it's okay in 2016 to make a lot more money than you made in 2015. I don't know how well you did, but I assume you had a good year in 2015. If you didn't have a good year in 2015, believe me, take a look in the mirror, because there is something wrong. I mean, everything about the industry pointed to everybody having a great year. And yet some of you didn't have a great year, which is very, very, very concerning to me. The fourth thing that I wrote down, we have to spend a little bit of time now and in the first quarter of 2016. I learned this all year. We have to think a little bigger about what we can do, what we should do about the opportunities before us. Thinking big, let's be honest, is a process that we learn. Thinking big is not something that we get hit on the head with one day and we have it. It's not a computer chip we place in our brain that causes us to think big. Thinking big is a learned process, like anything else that we learn. Learning to think beyond the scope, learning to think beyond what is reasonable is a very, very difficult thing for most people to do. Why? Because, we are subject to, you and I, the habits we've created, the exposure we have, and how we've lived our life to this point. So therefore, if I say to you, listen, let's talk about things we can accomplish and do that are extraordinary, most people shut right down on the spot. So I've learned that most people don't think very big, and those handful of you that do, You get great results, great rewards. Then the last thing that I've learned as I've looked at this year was how important that the versatility that you and I are creating and developing within ourselves, how important that is and what a big part it plays in our overall success. Versatility, the ability to adapt to a variety of people, a variety of situations, in a variety of ways. How versatile are you? How well do you adapt? Or are you one of those many agents that has shrunk down to dealing with only a certain kind of people, a certain kind of property, a certain kind of neighborhood? And the versatility allows you to get outside of that. How often do you get outside your comfort zone? Can you go out and list and sell properties that are worth 3 or 4 times more than what your average sales price is, or 3 or 4 times less? See, you have to think about how comfortable you can become. And how do you become comfortable with versatility is start to communicate with people outside of your comfort zone. So I tell people all the time that, and I said this 4 years ago to all of our coaching clients, the average person I know is losing 25 to 30 deals a year from a lack of versatility because they can only deal with that small group that they're comfortable with. The higher the level of versatility, better chance you have. And obviously because of that, the more you can do. Maintaining a sense of humor, developing your skills, accepting the fact that you make a lot of money, thinking big and develop versatility are some of the things that I learned, and I believe by you thinking about them can help you make 2016 a great year. If it's not a great year, it should be, and we can make it by starting thinking about these things today. Talk to you next week.